Good morning. Hope everyone is okay. Just tag a few people. I know some of you are at work, that's okay. Catch up later. Just takes me a while to get down the list. How hot is it today? It's so warm. Beautiful though, but very warm when you're rushing about. I get so warm and sweaty. Anyway, can't complain about the nice weather. Nearly done, and then I'll get started. So today, I am doing session 3 of Business Fundamentals, Scentsy Business Fundamentals. So it's obviously just covering the basics of what this business is really all about, okay? So today is about recruiting and sponsoring. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel on this one. There's so much training out there already on recruiting and sponsoring, and I'll signpost you to some of those. But I just want to cover the basics so that people kind of understand what recruiting and sponsoring can do for you and for your business, okay? Excuse my throat, my hay fever's playing up today. So, we talked about it briefly yesterday, but recruiting will help you move up the compensation plan. So if you want to come into this business and at some point you realise how big the opportunity is and you want to work your way up and get higher and higher up and get the best title and get right to the top, to the SSD, Superstar Director, recruiting and sponsoring has to be a real everyday habit, an everyday thing as part of your business, okay? And it will help you build a future income month on month, okay? So all of the work that you put in the early years in your business is going to leave you with an income that comes in every month just from that recruiting and sponsoring. Now you obviously do still have to put your own sales through. You have to have a minimum of 500 PRV to benefit from any of those bonuses related to your team. So it isn't just team related, but the work you put into building a team now will give you future income on a month by month basis, okay? So it is quite a big deal. So in terms of recruiting within Scentsy, you can recruit across any part of the globe where Scentsy is, okay? So you can recruit right across the globe. We have Region 2, which we talked about yesterday, which is where we're in. So you can sell and sponsor in Region 2. You can't sell anywhere else. You can sponsor everywhere. So Region 2 is obviously the UK, Ireland, Austria, France, Germany, Netherlands and Spain, okay? So we can recruit right across those countries. You just have to do something on your workstation to open up your region, okay? And then we have Region 1, which is the US, Canada and Mexico, and we have Region 3, which is Australia and New Zealand. So if you've got friends and family in all these amazing places, then you can tap into that. And sometimes we quite often see the question come up, oh, I've got a cousin in New Zealand who wants to order from me, how can they go about it? They can't. They can't order from you if you're in the UK, but you can recruit them. You can recruit them and have them as part of your team over in New Zealand, okay? The market for it is absolutely huge. Now, obviously that applies to any country we've got. Just something to mention, it's something I only found about in the last few months, is that if you open your region up and you recruit, say in New Zealand or America or wherever, you need to let your upline know so that they open up their regions too, okay? So it means that everybody in that upline will benefit from any bonuses linked to that person, okay? So right across the globe, so the potential there is huge. So in terms of recruitment training, there is so much already out there. If you follow some of the really amazing leaders on YouTube, there are some amazing recruiting bits of information out there. We've also got Tam Richards' Dream Team Academy training, which is in our units in Crystal Gems, guides they're called now. It's also in Team Diamond Spirit, and it's also on Tam's YouTube. So you can have a look at that. I highly recommend that as part of your recruitment training. But also once you've done that, Natalie and I did a Grow Your Business and Beyond training, which is all about habits, but it has some of these elements linked into it. So that's definitely worth a go at as well. And again, that's on my YouTube, but it's also on our team group as well. So when you make recruitment an intentional part of your business, it isn't as simple as going out and saying, join my team, come and join my team, come and join my team. It doesn't work. You'll just switch people off and it gets annoying. People don't want to hear that. What people want to know is that you care about them, okay, and that you've spent time building that relationship with them, and you have a relationship. You don't just get in touch with them when you want them to order. You have that ongoing relationship with them, and that relationship building has to be a key part of your business, and that's not just in relation to sponsoring, but also in relation to your sales as well. So don't just contact people, as I say, to say, I'm putting an order in, do you want anything? Or, hi, it's been a while since you ordered, do you want anything now? You know, it can't be, that's very cold. It needs to be warm and caring, and a relationship that's been really nurtured. So just check in with your customers, see how they're doing. Hi, how are you doing? Saw you went on holiday last week, it looked amazing. You know, spend time with the chit chat, spend time actually being completely interested in what they're doing and what their lives are like, because it's a huge deal, and you need to have that relationship, and people need to know you care. People can go and shop with any Scentsy consultant. They've only got to go on the consultant finder on the website to find another one, or there'll probably be somebody that somebody knows. You want to keep your customers, but you want to keep building those relationships with them and anybody new that comes your way, okay? So relationship building is massive. Spend time on your personal profile, is what I'm trying to say, on Facebook. It doesn't have to be customer related. Just build those relationships with people that you've got on your Facebook, like you went to school with, but you perhaps don't really speak to anymore. But you can still comment nice things on their posts. You know, oh, your daughter looks really beautiful in that outfit, or, you know, I loved to see that trip you made at the weekend. You know, there's so many things you can talk about. There is so much going on when you scroll your personal profile on Facebook. Just spend time commenting and interacting. People want to know that you're noticing them. It's so easy to scroll past, isn't it? And we want people to feel like we care about them, okay? Now, there are different ways to recruit. I'm only going to cover them briefly because there are other trainings out there, like I say. But one of the things, so when I've had quite a few customers join now, but they didn't join straight away. You know, sometimes you have to revisit this with them quite a few times. Sometimes it's a lot. I personally was never asked. I just kind of thought, I want to do that, and I did it. I kind of just approached my consultant and said, I really want to join, and I just did it. But you don't get many people like that. I've had a couple that have taken a borrow bag and they've decided straight away they want to join. Sometimes it takes them a good while, and sometimes they kind of it needs to be at the right time for them as well. Sometimes it's not always the right time. But you could sometimes tell them what they could be earning off an order. So if they're putting a large order through of, say we've got the Disney stuff coming out, haven't we, on the 24th, so we've got the Beauty and the Beast stuff. So you could be saying to them, look, you know, you're spending 130 odd pounds already. A couple more orders, you'll have a qualifying order, and you can earn your own Scentsy free and half price, or you can earn this amount in commission. I know there are some consultants out there that put a little slip in some people's orders that say, you know, with this order, if you were a consultant yourself, you would have earned X amount back in commission, okay? So it's quite an eye-opener to some people about how they can be earning, especially the people that order quite a lot. They may as well be earning off their own orders, and if they just get a few orders of friends and family and just get active every month, then it's well worth them doing it, because they get their host rewards as well. Okay. I have on occasion, I did it quite a lot during the lockdown actually, or in the pandemic, that I've opened a link for people. So the people that do spend a lot with me, or somebody that wants to buy something, or maybe has their own something but can't afford it, you know, I've suggested opening a link and seeing if they can get people to order, talking to them about Scentsy. People having their own personal links, so people that do spend a lot. Parties can be open for 90 days, so they can keep popping their orders through. I can still do the orders for them, but we'll pop it through their party link. Call them a personal shopping link. You can call them what you want. It doesn't have to say party, but then they've benefited from the host rewards as well. And then what you can actually do is go back to them and say, you've done this much in sales really in these 90 days. As a consultant, you could have earned this much in commission. Would you like to use your host credit on this to join? And some people say yes. There is somebody in the team who I asked and asked and asked. They didn't ever think they could do it. They didn't have any self-belief in themselves. And then I actually gave up asking, if I'm honest. I did give up asking. I knew she'd be brilliant, but I didn't think she'd ever do it. And if she watches this, she'll know who she is. And then I opened her a party link anyway, because I just thought, you know what, I want to give you some rewards. Recruitment wasn't even in my mind for this particular person. But she wanted to order an obsidian. This was before it kept flying out. So she wanted to order an obsidian, said, I'll just open your party link and then see if you can get a few orders. You never know, you might be able to get some rewards. And so it was that she got to the rewards, and I let her know that she had the rewards there whenever she was ready. Again, I didn't think about recruitment again at this point. She came back to me and said, actually, do you know what? I can see now that I can do it. I can see that I can actually get people interested in it. I've actually loved doing it. I want to join. So we used her credit towards the host kit. So it was brilliant, and she did so well, and it did so much for her self-confidence. So that's another way to do it. Sometimes if people aren't sure if they can do it, you can suggest a party link. If they don't think they'll be any good, suggest a party link and just say, look, how about we just open you a link, you have a go. It's not gonna, you haven't got your own business yet, but just have a go and see if you can get people to order and talk them into it. Then see how you get on, and if you enjoy it, we can use the credit for the host kit. So it works really, really well. So there are other ways as well. So somebody can actually host a party. Now we're able to start doing parties and stuff again, or even online parties. You can get them to use the credit to join if they want to. If it's their party, it's entirely up to you, but if it's their party and they've kind of gained all of that, all of those sales through inviting people in, then really that's their PRV. So you can flip the PRV over to them. They would be instantly active. Okay, and that helps towards their Shooting Star Award. I've done that with quite a few people that have had those links and joined. We've talked about personal shopping links already. So I also keep a couple of parties open. So I'll get a party just to qualify in, I'll open another one just to qualify in, and I keep a couple open at a time. So if I've got somebody who wants to join, I've got the option of adding on the host kit or offering them a host kit. And the host kit is £50, and you can't say publicly if you're going to do it for any less. You have to just talk about it being a special price. But on a one-to-one basis, you can tell them that you want to do it for £25. You're going to do it for £25. So I let them have a £25 on my credit. They spend £25, and then they're a consultant through the host kit. But I never offer it for free, because people do need to have some kind of investment to take it seriously. And you will sometimes get kidnappers even at £25. But on the whole, largely a lot of my host kit joins have been really, really good consultants. Okay, and there's obviously the full kit option as well, which you get through going through the workstation. There is training in the group about how to do the host kit, so that's there. So in terms of sponsoring, it isn't just about signing somebody up. It isn't just about saying, come and join Scentsy and, sign them up and leave them to it. That's not what it's about. When you sponsor somebody into the business, you have a responsibility to that person. It is their own business. They do have to take responsibility for their business themselves. They do need to do the work themselves. It's not up to you to do the work. But you do have a responsibility to support them, to guide them through, to help them learn everything they need to know as they go into the business. And on an ongoing basis, be that support, be that person they can ask questions to if they can't find the answers they need on their workstation or in the groups. Okay, so you do have a responsibility. You can't just sign somebody up and neglect them. It doesn't work like that. There are people out there who don't have very good sponsors, or perhaps don't get on with their sponsors, but on the whole, you should be showing your responsibility to them so they know they can turn to you. So you need to know where to signpost them to for particular things. So, I quite often say to my front line when they come and they continually ask, you get some people that will continually ask the same questions, or, I can't keep doing things for you. I can't keep, finding the document for you and sending it to you. What I need to do is I need to signpost you to where you can find it, so that when that question comes up in your mind again, you know where to find it, so that when you recruit people and they ask you those questions, you know where to signpost those to. And that's really important, because as a business, so when you start sponsoring, you might only have a couple to begin with, might slowly grow, but when your team gets huge, so our group now is over 200. If you look at Tam's group, she's got over 3,500 people. It's just crazy, 4,500 people. They are just crazy numbers, but you can't be that person to every single person in your downline. You need to set your front line up with the places to find things so that they can do the same and they can do the same, so that everybody can find things and they know where to find them when they need to touch base with them again. So it's really important to signpost and not do things for people. So we've got loads of training on the workstation when somebody signs up, and even when you're a seasoned consultant, there's loads of training modules on the workstation. You can search a particular topic. You can see old Scentsy Family Reunion trainings on there. There's so much on there for new consultants to have a look at. And they have a first things first checklist on their workstation that they check off as they do things as well. But in the guides in our group and also in Tam's group, there are so many different trainings. There's trainings that help in terms of how to put orders through, how to understand shipping. There's some real decent training bits out there already, and that's just within our group. There's so much on YouTube and stuff as well, but that really helps people to get their head around all the things they need to do. And there's also the 10-day new consultant bootcamp that Tam did as well, which is in there, and again on her YouTube as well, to help people really get to grips with the business. And this course will also help new people to understand the bits and pieces of the business as well. Okay, so there's so much already out there that you can signpost them to, and that was all designed purely so that we didn't all keep having to have the same conversations with lots and lots of new people, especially with the growth we've had and the new number of consultants we've had coming through. It does help you to signpost, and for me personally, I'm more of a visual person, so I need a video or something visual to follow rather than someone talk me through it. I need something I can follow to do something for the first time. It helps me so much. So I wanted to make sure that we had that for everybody else. Okay, so as a sponsor, you're going to be there to answer their questions, and to begin with, in the first few weeks, that will be quite a lot because they're new to the business. You just need to think and cast your mind back to when you were new in the business and you felt like there was so much. It can be so overwhelming to begin with. There is so much to get your head around, to understand. So as a customer, you kind of know quite a bit if you've been a consultant for quite some time, but it's a whole new ballgame when you can become a consultant. There's so much to get your head around, and it can feel overwhelming. So it's important to make sure that you take these things slowly with them, get them to start navigating their workstation, set up their Facebook group, also have a look at the 10-day new consultant bootcamp, that kind of thing. So that needs to be the first few days, and then gradually drip things in. So if you're doing okay with that, then perhaps have a look at this. You know, and it's just about following their lead, really. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to be able to do things at a different pace as well, because some people will be working full time, some people will have families, some people have both. You know, everybody has a different set of circumstances, and the time they can dedicate in those early days will obviously be different from person to person. So you just need to be mindful of what level they are at or how quickly they can get through stuff. But you need to be there, you know, just say to them, look, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. If you feel overwhelmed, come to me and we will talk through what needs to be done. Okay, but when they start doing stuff, when they start popping orders through, when they start kind of working their business, some of these things will easily fall into place, and it will become a lot easier after a few weeks. Okay, but still be there to answer their questions and signpost them to wherever it is they need to find the information. So if somebody said to me, does anybody know if this product does such and such? So I will say, have you checked the frequently asked questions, the FAQs on the workstation? No. Go and have a check there, see if you can find the answer. If not, contact support. You know, so there are definite easy ways you can signpost people, and then they'll know next time where to find the information. You kind of learn as you do, don't you? So you need to make sure that you as a sponsor are working smarter, not harder, and that kind of is everything that I've just said, really, in terms of not doing things for them but trying to signpost. Okay, don't be that person that sets up their group for them because they're not doing it. Don't be that person. They need to take the business seriously. If you start off doing things for them, they're going to expect that on an ongoing basis, and there'll come a point where you begin to resent it, and that's not where you need to be. Don't be that person. Be that person that encourages them, tries to help them by being a friendly voice in their ear, that kind of thing, somebody they can turn to. And I suppose I should say, really, that your relationship with your team, your frontline, so your frontline of people that you personally sponsor, my phone rang, it can go far beyond just Scentsy. So, you know, people have things that go on in their personal lives. People will have things that will mean they need to step back just for a short time. And I will be that person that will just check in on them, see how they're doing. They don't just have to talk Scentsy with me. You know, if they just need a listening ear, if they've had something awful happen, or they've lost somebody, or, you know, it's about being that, it's about that relationship again. It is always about that relationship and how it is on an ongoing basis. So you just need to be that person that will be there for them no matter what. And that, I tell you what, that makes a huge difference to people. It really does. Okay. Obviously, initially, as well as part of all that learning as they start, it's about trying to encourage them to go for those first awards that are there, the shooting star and the sensational start. But ultimately, you need to be their biggest cheerleader. You are their biggest cheerleader. So as they start achieving, as they start doing, as they've put their first active order through, you know, be in their inbox, be on the phone, telling them they're doing amazing, they're amazing, they've achieved so much, you know, shout it out in your groups, you know, really, really be their cheerleader, because then they will see that they're doing amazing, then everybody's right behind them. You know, we're a great Scentsy family. We all really care about how each other's getting on. There's no serious competition. So just be that cheerleader, shout them out, let everybody help celebrate with them, because you will remember that as a new consultant, and even like 3.5 years on, when someone shouts me out, it's an amazing feeling. It really is. And that's part of what Scentsy is all about. It's about giving more than you take. So, be that cheerleader, be that person that shouts them out and cheers them on. Celebrate with them, celebrate every small win, okay? So when you have somebody who might be interested in joining Scentsy, it can never be about what that person can do for you. So yeah, you might be able to eventually recruit because you've got another front line, but it can't be about that. It has to be about what Scentsy does for them. And when you shift that thinking from what it does for you to what it does for them, it makes a massive difference to your business. Things will just start happening naturally, okay? The growth will happen. And I definitely saw that a couple of years ago when I kind of just thought, you know what, forget that. That will happen when it's meant to happen. Let's focus on what that person wants from their business. And it can be different for different people. Some people might just want, 3.5 price Scentsy for themselves and a little bit of commission. Focus on what it means to them. It might be that somebody needs an extra £300 a month to help with a shortfall because somebody's been made redundant. It might be that they eventually want a completely change of career. They want to be at home with the kids more and eventually want this to be full time. As their sponsor, you will get to know exactly what it is that they want from the business, and that's what you could work with them on. And when they achieve that, you will be just as happy as they are. I can't tell you, to know that somebody's achieved that thing that they set out to do, it is absolutely amazing and really emotional, and it really gets you here. It really does. And it's the best part for me, definitely the best part of this business, but it always has to be about them. So get to know them, get to know what they want. There's no point you pushing them for a promotion and this and that if that's not what they want. Okay, and they're going to not want you to be, they're not going to want to hear from you so much because you push them to do something they don't want to do. So focus on what it is that they want and help them work towards that. If they change their thinking partway down the line, then you change your thinking too, but it's always led by them, okay? You can always show them what the opportunity is. You can always just drop it into conversation, but if they are clear on what they want to be doing, then it's about them and it's about what it means to them and what it can do for them. So always focus on them. It's hugely, hugely important. Okay, and one last thing is that as part of the training that you do with them, you just need to help them understand the Scentsy standards as well. So make sure that as they go along, they start to understand the serious things around compliance and things like that. So they will have the agreement to read before they join, before they've clicked that final join button. But not everybody understands it at that point. Not everybody reads it properly. So the key things as they move forward are things like no pay to play games, no raffles, no things like that, because there are some other direct selling organisations that do allow that. They shouldn't, but they do. So some people can quite often come across into Scentsy and think they can do the same and they can't. So if you know when someone's joining that they're part of another company that allows that, I always make it clear at the start before they join, but you won't be able to do that when you're with Scentsy. So it's all about building relationships, building that customer base up and people valuing the product. And also the things around the licensed product compliance things and as well, in terms of the images and stuff like that. But I don't bombard them with all that as they start. I do that in the first couple of weeks as we go along. And I always ask to be part of their group, just so that if there's something that comes up that we've not yet talked about, I can flag it up with them and just say, just to let you know that this is meant to be this way or whatever. So it's really important that you integrate that into your training as well. But that's all I think I really wanted to say in terms of recruitment, like I say, because there is so much out there, but it isn't just recruiting. You have to remember it's about that sponsoring and being that support person moving forward. Because at the end of the day, if you are recruiting and you are starting to earn bonuses off this team because you've promoted upwards, then they feed into your income. So it's important that you give back. You need to make sure that you are earning that. If you're earning those bonuses, you really need to be earning it. You can't be a free ride. You have to support these people, okay? And it is amazing. When you start doing it, you see those achievements. Like I said, it is just the best part of this business for me is seeing people achieve those small wins, those big wins, whatever it is, whatever it means to them, it means something. And that is just so special. There are loads of self-development books you can look at around recruiting as well. I've just got a few here, but there's YouTube trainings, there's so much. But this is one of them. So I've read this one. It's only a short book, but very, very good, very to the point. It's quite an easy read. So we quite often, in terms of recruiting, sponsoring, afraid of hearing the word no, and you are going to hear a lot of no's, and you do need to practice hearing the word no. Get people to say no to you at home on an ongoing basis. Get used to it. Get used to hearing it. There are some books that will help you with that as well. So This one is go for no. So you go for the no's because some of those no's will become yeses. And rejection proof as well. It's another one. Be a Recruiting Superstar, which I just read, Mary Christensen's book. I read that last week, and that's really good as well. There's some really great advice in there. Mary Christensen has been part of some direct selling organisations, and she was a huge part of Scentsy as a consultant, helped set up, I'm pretty sure she helped set up Region 3 in the early days there. So she knows Scentsy so well, and she's done some training on the Inspiration Station for us as well. And the one that she did about different types of birds is in here, and it's much easier to read for me than listen, and it made so much sense about types of people. So there's always going to be different types of people. So I hope that's helpful, guys. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next one. Have a great day. See you later.